Hey everyone, welcome back to Fireside Writer. I'm TJ Stecker, former Navy aviator, DC attorney, and crime fiction author still chasing the traditional publishing deal. Today I want to talk about something that's equal parts terrifying and exhilarating, writing your first novel. I'm not going to lie to you, it's hard, it's messy, you're going to make mistakes. But every published author you admire went through this exact same process. They sat down with a blank page and figured it out, one word at a time. So whether you're staring at chapter 1 or 50,000 words in, questioning everything, these tips will help you get to the finish line. Let's dive in. First tip, and this is the most important one, finish the damn thing. I know that sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised at how many people start novels and never finish them. They get stuck halfway through. They find a new idea that's shinier. They convince themselves that their current project isn't good enough. Here's the truth. Your first draft doesn't have to be good enough. It just has to exist. Michael Connelly has said, the hardest part isn't making your draft good, it's making it exist. You can't edit a blank page. You can't revise something that isn't written. But once you've got words on paper, now you've got something to work with. When I wrote my first novel, there were stretches when I was convinced it was terrible. And honestly, parts of it were. But I kept going. I wrote through the bad days, the ones where it felt like pulling teeth. And when I finally typed the end, I had something real, something that I could actually work with. So set a goal, commit to finishing. Give yourself permission to write badly. The first draft isn't about perfection, it's about momentum. You can fix it later, but you can't fix what doesn't exist. Second tip, know your ending, even if it changes. You don't need every scene plotted out. You don't need a 50-page outline, but you need to know where you're going to end up. Because if you don't know where your story ends, you're going to wander. And wandering leads to stalling out around page 150. I'm not saying you can't be a discovery writer or a pantser. Some of the best authors out there write to find out what happens. And I'm not calling myself one of the best authors out there. That's the way I write too. I write to figure out what happens. It's an exercise in discovery, but we usually have a destination in mind. We know who we want the protagonist to become by the end. Dennis Lehane talks about this, how he always knows the ending before he starts. That ending is his North Star. Everything moves toward that moment. For me, when I wrote that first novel, I knew the final confrontation. I knew the truth that Jeff Coburn would uncover about himself and his family. I didn't know every twist along the way, but I knew where it had to land. And that gave me direction, motivation when the middle got messy. Your ending might change as you write. It might change, that's fine, but give yourself a target. It'll keep you moving forward when the path isn't clear. Third tip, write every day, or as close to it as you can manage. Consistency beats inspiration every single time. Waiting for the muse to strike is a recipe for never finishing. You need to build a habit of showing up, whether you feel like it or not. Stephen King writes 2,000 words every day. You don't have to hit that number. Maybe it's 500. Maybe it's one good sentence. But it's the act of starting that gets you going that builds your momentum. Here's what I've learned. The more you write, the easier it gets. The first 10 minutes are always the hardest to get through, but once you do, you can get into a flow state and you keep going. If you push through the resistance, you'll find your rhythm. And once you're in the flow, the words come faster. If you're working a full-time job, if you've got kids, if life is pulling you in every direction, I'm with you. I understand you more than you know. But find your window. Maybe it's early in the morning. Maybe it's late at night after the kids have gone to bed. Maybe it's your lunch break. But find it and protect that time. Make it sacred. Even on days when it feels like garbage, you're making progress. Every word is one word closer to the end. You're building the muscle. You're figuring out your process. That's worth showing up for. Fourth tip, read like a writer. If you want to write well, you have to read. But more than that, you need to read intentionally. Don't just consume the story, study how it's built. When you're reading a thriller that consumes you, ask yourself why. What did the author do in that first chapter? How did they introduce the protagonist? What information did they withhold to create the tension? When a scene lands with emotional weight, stop and analyze it. How did they earn that moment? What work did they do earlier in the book to make this payoff work? I learned more about pacing from reading Michael Connelly than I did from any craft book. I learned about character voice from Dennis Lehane. I learned about atmosphere from Cormac McCarthy. And I learned all of that by paying attention, by reading with a writer's brain, not just a reader's. Here's a practical tip. When you find a book that does something great, reread that section. Rewrite the section. Just copying what they do will help you build the muscle so that you learn innately how to produce those same feelings. And if you're reading crime specifically, head over to tjstecker.com and sign up for my newsletter. I break down techniques from the best in the genre, what I'm learning on my own path to publication. I promise not to spam your inbox. Just real, practical insights from serious writers. Fifth tip, and this is a fun one, embrace the mess. Your first draft is not going to be perfect. Hell, it's not even going to be good, and that's okay. Here's what I wish someone had told me. The first novel is about learning the process. You're figuring out how to sustain a narrative over 300 pages. You're learning how to build scenes, create subplots, create tension. That's a lot to master in one project. Give yourself permission to mess up. Write clunky dialogue. Write flat characters. Lose your way in the middle. It's all part of the process. Don't hit delete on everything every single time you come across a rough patch. Don't spend 6 months polishing chapter 1 when the draft remains unwritten. Keep moving forward. Get messy. Make mistakes. Every bad scene teaches you what doesn't work, which is just as valuable as knowing what does. I look back at my first manuscript now, and yeah, there are some things that make me cringe. But I'm proud of it. Not because it's perfect. It's not, but because I finished it. And everything I've written since has been better because of what that first novel taught me. So there you have it, 5 tips for writing that first novel. 1. Finish the damn thing. 2. Know your ending. 3. Write every day. 4. Read like a writer. 5. Embrace the mess. Writing a novel is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. It's also one of the most rewarding. There's nothing quite like holding that first finished manuscript, knowing you pushed through all the difficulty, through all the doubt, to finally have created something that didn't exist. You can do this. I'm right there along beside you, and we can all figure it out and learn as we go. If this helped, hit that like button and subscribe to Fireside Writer for more tips every week. Drop a comment. Where are you in your first novel journey? What's the biggest challenge you're facing right now? I read every single comment. And remember, head to tjstecker.com and stay connected as I keep you updated on my own path to publication. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Now go write something.